The night was frigid, and a bone-chilling wind swept through the desolate streets of Everwood. Christmas lights dangled precariously from the houses, casting eerie, distorted shadows on the snow-covered ground. I had returned to my hometown for the holidays, but there was nothing festive about this place anymore. My grandparents lived in a decrepit mansion on the outskirts of town. It was a mansion I had spent my childhood exploring, but now it felt like a house of horrors. The once majestic evergreen trees that lined the property had become gnarled and twisted, their branches resembling skeletal fingers clawing at the sky. As I approached the mansion, the front door creaked open on its own, a haunting invitation to enter. Inside, a dimly lit hallway stretched before me, and the walls seemed to close in, suffocating me with an oppressive sense of dread. My grandmother appeared at the end of the hall, her frail form wrapped in a tattered, moth-eaten shawl. Her eyes were hollow, and her voice quivered with fear as she embraced me. "I'm so sorry you had to come back, dear," she muttered, her voice barely audible. My grandfather, a once strong and proud man, sat in a dimly lit room, his face hidden in the shadows. He mumbled incoherently, and his trembling hands clutched a tarnished photograph of our family from happier times. My heart ached as I realized he was beyond recognition. "What's happened here, Grandma?" I implored, my voice quivering. She led me into the darkened living room, where a cold, uninviting fireplace cast eerie shapes on the faded wallpaper. "It all started when they decorated the town's Christmas tree," she whispered. "But the tree was different this year, cursed, and now Everwood has become a nightmare." Through the cracked windowpane, I could see the town's Christmas tree standing in the center of the square, a grotesque monument to terror. Its branches drooped under the weight of twisted, blood-red ornaments, and its lights emitted an unholy, flickering glow. Grandma continued, "People have been vanishing, strange occurrences plague the town, and the air is thick with malevolence. The tree has become a vessel for something dark." Determined to uncover the truth, I ventured to the town square, where the wretched tree stood. The sky had darkened, and the whispers of the wind were replaced by anguished wails that sent shivers down my spine. As I approached the tree, I noticed the townsfolk, their eyes devoid of hope, performing a sinister ritual, chanting words I couldn't comprehend. The figure that had cursed the tree before was nowhere to be seen, and I realized that the townsfolk themselves had become instruments of this malevolent force. Desperate, I reached for an ornament, and as my fingers touched it, a searing pain shot through my hand. The ornament writhed in my grip, contorting as if it were a sentient, malevolent being. I gasped in terror, dropping it to the ground. The figure emerged from the shadows, its eyes glinting with malice. "You should have never interfered," it hissed, its voice a cacophony of tormented souls. With a wave of its hand, the ornaments converged upon me, their twisted forms entangling me in a suffocating grip. Just as I thought all was lost, a brilliant light pierced through the darkness, blinding and disorienting the malevolent force. The figure howled in pain, and the ornaments released their grip. I fell to the ground, gasping for breath. A group of townsfolk had arrived, led by my grandmother. They carried candles and recited an incantation, pushing back the darkness that had plagued Everwood for so long. The cursed tree began to wither and crumble, and the malevolent force dissipated into the night. The townsfolk's incantation grew stronger, and the sinister figure was banished, its anguished screams echoing as it disappeared. Everwood's nightmare was finally over. As the first light of dawn broke, the town's Christmas tree stood bare, its malevolent curse broken, and the town began to heal. My grandparents and I shared a tearful reunion, knowing that we had escaped the clutches of a chilling Christmas tale. The memory of that horrific night would forever haunt us, but it served as a reminder that the power of love and unity could triumph over even the darkest of nightmares. And in the end, Everwood was no longer an evergreen nightmare but a town on the path to recovery, with the hope of brighter Christmases to come.